That's it. All right, guys, what's going on? We are back in the house. We appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day to spend with us. I'm Big
We
Matt.
had a good time. Diamond Dean.
We're going to cover some college stuff here. We got a lot to talk about. We hit about 50 minutes for high school. We had a lot of local stuff to cover. I knew it was going to be an hour and a half at least tonight. We may be low over because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of good games. First off, our college-wise, well,
what was you going to say?
yeah, at Berry College.
Oh, yeah, Berry College. Luke Welsh.
He got to play yesterday at
He
Berry.
did. Trying to get some stats from
Yeah,
him.
if we can get something from, I'm sure he made some tackles.
I know he did play in the game.
Yeah, I would just nearly bet my life that he made some tackles.
Yeah, I would think so. We'll find out as it goes on.
I mean, he's a dude, man. He's a big old strong kid. So he's getting to play. Got placed at Berry, and another local kids. You got Corey Teague's at Lindsey Wilson.
Lindsey Wilson.
I've seen some pictures. His mom shared the other day, so I share them on our page. And Mark, get pictures, bro, and please send them to me.
I did see one picture.
I would be
Mark.
I did. I shared some.
No, you did share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything y'all got for Corey and Luke, and of course Slade's down there. And Wiggins
from Jacksonville High School. And then you said he caught some passes last night?
he was an important part of that win. Then the quarterback from Collinsville the other year, Jones.
Yeah, Caleb Jones.
So we got a lot of kids around here. I seen some more kids at Jacksonville game. Like I know their faces, like I see them. Like, man, I know him from somewhere. I played somewhere.
The twins from Chattooga, one of them starts for Kennesaw State.
Okay, there you go.
And I'll have his stats up here in a minute. But
we'll talk about. I don't even know if
he's done well at Kennesaw State. They played Georgia Tech yesterday, and they got beat, but they played very well. I mean, they're not supposed to beat Georgia Tech anyway, are they?
No.
They had 6 carries, 45 yards. This is Isaac Foster. He played right up here at Cedar Bluff one time.
Oh, tell us about that.
Caught a pass for 12. He had 57 total yards. 57. So, but he was a OV. He was their conference special teams player of the year one year. That was a quarterback for Chattooga. That's all I was going to tell you. He is playing, and also Louis Medina from Chattooga starts for Troy.
Let's see. Oh, that's not right.
Shout out to Louis. I coached him in middle school. He was good, big guy. Used to take him home after practice. It's nice to take somebody home after practice and see them starting for Troy on ESPN one day, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to find. It was so late last night. I'm trying to get Jackson State.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the first thing we got to talk about. I definitely think that's the biggest news around here.
I watched the game and.
What's up? Yardage, right?
Florida State just did not.
Neither team gained.
Florida State just didn't. They never could put it away. Total yards was 350 for JSU and 329 for Florida State. So that's total yards. But the thing here is 32 minutes.
It's not high though.
JSU has the ball for 32 minutes. And I think that was kind of the difference in the game. Their quarterback Cooper. He didn't play real good against UAB, but
No, I actually heard a lot of negative talk.
I did
about
too.
him after
But it's UAB,
right?
and you would think Florida State would be better than UAB.
I would think Florida State would be better.
I think they took him lightly. I don't think they took him serious. He was 17 for 38, throw for 242, throw 2 touchdowns, and running the ball. Jackson, he had nearly 40 yards. Samuel had 33. The quarterback, he ran for about 30 yards. Wiggins, he had some catches. Looks like he said five yards receiving, so that's another local kid played down there at Jacksonville.
Yeah, and he played a lot in the game before. He played a lot against UAB.
P.J. Wales was the guy, and then, of course, Petaway, I heard his name. It says 2 catches for 20 yards, but
it seemed like he did a lot more.
Well, he run twice for 8 yards, but they just kind of controlled the game. I mean, Florida State must just took them light. They didn't take it serious, and they just kept hanging around.
Well, Tyler Blaylock says right here that he cannot understand for the life of him why FSU was not in a prevent on that last play.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
So I just saw the highlights.
Yeah.
So basically, they were just in a normal
Yes.
defense.
And I've heard now this too.
No prevent.
In his defense, I've heard a lot of assistant coaches say, we're going to start lining up in just regular defense. The prevent stuff, all that does is just let them
I've heard that too. But with one play.
To create a play underneath.
Right.
That winds up turning into a play. But because of and I agree with that, if there's 20 seconds left, I maybe don't want to drop 4 or 5 in the coverage.
Right.
Because then they play a ball underneath, they catch and they get up to the 10, you tackle them. Well, then there's 5 seconds left. But with the time they had left.
That's what Blaylock's saying.
Right.
Just go on and play prevent.
Yes. In that situation, I would agree to play prevent because he catches the ball to 20 or 15 and he catches it, runs over, out of bounds nearly, and then cuts back across the field.
I agree with you 100%. If you know they got 3 or 4 plays, maybe not go to the prevent.
No.
But if you know they've got one, and how far was it? 45, 50 yards?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they don't win the ball game. I'm going to tell you that. Jacksonville State would not have won that ball game if they'd been in a prevent, I wouldn't think.
JSU rushed for 108, and penalties. They had 13 penalties. Florida State had 11. They both had a turnover.
So Jacksonville State outgained them too.
Yeah, 350
to 329.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were 1 for 1 and 1 on 4th down efficiency. The difference here, I'm gonna tell you, these are the little things that I like to pay attention to. See this number right here, Dean.
Oh, I got okay, yes, sir.
That right there.
Let me see. I'm getting where I can't see good, y'all.
That little number right there.
3rd down efficiency. Oh, 4th down efficiency.
That in that game.
0 for 2.
That made a difference in that game. Look, they line up in the Wildcat. Florida State does. It's 4th and 2.
0 for 2.
He comes out around the end. He dives for the line, and Jacksonville defense just knocks his head. It changed the game.
Kevin Moore, yes, definitely. 2 4th downs.
Yeah.
2 4th downs.
That made a difference.
FSU head coach Mike Norvell said that JSU had one more timeout, and that's why they didn't do prevent.
So Florida State didn't run prevent because JSU had a timeout.
But he didn't have time to call it. I don't guess.
No.
I guess he thought, I don't know, I can kind of see that. Maybe he throws it short, get the timeout. But then they throw one deep.
But the receivers just run like outs because the receiver is the one that made the block there at the goal line to kind of seal him getting in. Right, he would have got in anyway. The tight end's the one that made the.
I saw that block that receiver made.
But I mean, the guy making the catch with the long double last name, I can't say.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
I didn't know.
It looks like he may run a go and the receivers just run out. It's like he's going to run to the sideline and he just looks around and, well, nobody's back there. Here you go. Touchdown. Congratulations to them, man. Hashtag Fear the Beak.
I don't have my reading glasses, Mark. I forgot them.
Gosh darn it. We're going to have to leave you some
here. We'll just swap glasses.
Oh, you won't be able to see out of these things. You won't be able to see nothing.
But, hey, congrats to whatever it happened. I mean, it's water under the bridge now. Congrats to Jack State.
FSU Milton throwed a pick and a touchdown. He was 18 for 31, 133 yards. Corbin rushed for 109, and their receiver Williamson, he's a good receiver at Florida State. He only had 32 yards receiving. So
I can't believe it, especially after okay, here's a theory. Sunday night, they played Notre Dame down the wire. Do you think they were wore out? They're not supposed to lose to Jack State.
Go Gamecocks, man.
I'm talking about, do you think Florida State? And they look great. I thought they looked great against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I'm afraid this guy's going to lose his job.
Who?
Norvell.
Oh.
I mean, he may not.
I guess it was a good game. We got tons of other stuff. What do you want to do next?
All right, I'm going to talk about...
Hit us with something.
Kentucky and Missouri.
Yeah,
right quick.
Tell us about that. I've watched some highlights, the replay today.
All right. Kentucky just runs the ball, man.
Yeah.
Rushed for 350 yards.
Have you noticed that, guys? That's why you subscribe. We're telling you they're running the ball more now. Something's going on. All these teams are running the ball more.
Yeah.
Just watch.
Let me look at these stats here. Chris Rodriguez, 209 yards rushing, which, we saw on that list, the best running backs in the conference. He was on it. Very high. I think he might have been second, was he not? Mm-hmm. Bigsby first, him
right.
second.
Yeah.
35-28, they held on at the end. Every time, Missouri made a push at them, but Kentucky 2-0, looking good. 500 yards in both games. And that was a great game, 35-28.
We're going to give you our top 10 here probably towards the end. I'll talk a little bit about Notre Dame. They play a scary game, 29-32 against Toledo.
Wow.
Notre Dame quarterback Cohen, he threw for 239, had a pick. He was 21 for 33. The running back that we were really high on, Williams,
yes.
We really liked him a lot last year. He's number 23, 16 carries for 78 yards. Toledo rushed, just Koback, rushed for 122. What? Tell me that again. So this kid here rushed for 122 against Notre Dame. And you're supposed to be an elite football team that made the playoffs, which got destroyed last year.
Well, I've got a theory here. I don't know, and maybe y'all
Notre Dame give up 135 passing to a kid Maddox.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but you got Florida State getting beat by Jacksonville, Notre Dame nearly getting beat by Toledo, and they play a nail biter 41-38 Sunday. I just got to think that has something to do with it.
Look, the rushing yards apiece, they both rushed for 132, Toledo and Notre Dame. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that exact amount.
Who had more time with a possession?
Notre Dame.
Okay, so they controlled the clock.
But they ended up with more yards. They had
more total yards?
449.
That's a lot of yards.
But they won it with a minute left.
Man, that's not.
Or maybe less.
That's just not good.
Of course,
man.
Meyer, with tight end, one of the best tight ends in the country, caught the touchdown pass. All right, just a second.
Yeah, go on.
We
Look
got
at
some
that.
stats here. Okay, go ahead.
UAB in Georgia. It turned out what we thought it would be. Georgia, being at the quarterback, had to come in and play because JT couldn't play. He went up throwing for almost 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. Dang. Boy threw for 5 touchdowns, 120 yards rushing. He was 10 for 12. White had 7 carries for 34, and your wide receiver Bowers. Everybody knows him at Georgia at Dogs. 107 yards, 2 touchdowns as receiving. UAB Johnson III threw for about 40 yards, looked like, and McBride rushed for 60. And I mean, they just.
Well, I'm kind of shocked by that. A lot of people thought that was going to be a decent game.
No.
56. I did not.
No.
But I didn't think it would be 56-7. Their defense is just outstanding.
They had 174 total yards. UAB did.
So that's 2 games in a row. Clemson and UAB, neither one of them have gained 200 yards.
127 rushing for UAB. Excuse me.
And 47 passing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Tell us about. Did you get to watch A&M?
Yeah. Well, I watched a little of it. They just threw a touchdown right at the end of the game. I just don't think they're as good, man.
Man, Dean, I had them. Remember last week after the show, I think I went on and put something up, or maybe Saturday I put up. Do you have A&M in your top 5?
Gosh,
I do, because I do.
You do? Then, not now.
I don't know if they're in my top. They may be 10. I got my top 10.
I got them 11 now. What do y'all got? I mean, they did lose Kellen Mond.
They got New Mexico to play next. Spiller was the difference maker. Spiller.
He caught the game-winning
touchdown.
Pass.
This guy is a playmaker. Without him, they don't win that game.
Oh, no. And we did. Was he not our best?
Yeah.
Our best back.
I mean,
in there.
The Dean's list.
Yeah, the Dean's list. And he caught a wheel route with, what, a minute left?
Yeah.
Wow. And they did go out there and play Colorado. But
Galzada, he quarterback out there at A&M, threw for 183, and Ackman rushed for 50, nothing to mention receiving, and just a whole lot of nothing. I mean, the final score is 10-7.
Top 10 team.
Sounds like a A&M Colorado game from 1991.
Yeah. I just don't think they're a great. I think they're a good team, but top 5, no way. I'll put Notre Dame over them. I mean, I will. I might have to. All right, who you got?
49-3. Clemson beats South Carolina State. Ugalele throws for about 170 yards. Throw to pick. He was 14 for 24. They're supposed to win that game. I ain't going to talk a lot about it. I mean, you're supposed to win those games.
Yeah, that's like Auburn. I mean, we can mention it now. And
Auburn,
Alabama.
62-0. Yeah. How many? 538 total yards.
Yeah, Bama 48-14.
they're supposed to win those games.
Right.
They
got
played a little
coming up.
sluggish.
Both of them.
Yeah, Alabama started off a little slow. Nix was 9 for 17 for 108. Passing, they had 174. I'm sorry, Bo rushed for 108. Bigsby had 122. And Alabama State had 176 total yards. But Jaquiz Hunter broke a record at Auburn, had a 94-yard run. He had 147 total.
Wow.
He set a record there at Auburn. So broke a big play.
Okay, I got one for you. We love looking at it. We love it. Mike Leach, they upset. I don't think they upset them. They look better. They beat NC State 24-10.
Yeah, they're supposed to be pretty good on that.
49-14 runs. 49 passes, 14 runs. But hey, he's going to throw the ball now. He's made that clear. I might as well get used to it and just let him throw it.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I need to quit criticizing.
It's going to be 300 passing and 84 rushing.
Yes, every game.
That's just kind of how it's going to be. Coastal Carolina goes on, beat Kansas 49-22.
Wow. I was shocked they beat them that bad.
Well, Kansas is terrible. Coastal's not bad. Florida wins 42-20. We talked about them in South Florida. Richardson was 3 for 3, 152, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, he's good.
He ran for 115 yards
He's
also.
good. So
Copeland,
Florida's got a double, 2 quarterbacks.
And Copeland catches for 175 and 2 touchdowns. The Gators will host Alabama next week. Auburn will travel to Penn State.
Ooh, Lord, what do you think about that?
Well, since you asked me.
What do you, I mean, I don't know. I know Penn State's very good on defense, or they look like they were. And there's a myth there that the Big Ten can't play with the SEC, which I don't believe that for a second. Not in this case, anyway. I mean, Minnesota beat Auburn last time they played them. Ohio State's beat Alabama before. We know all the games. But I don't think that's a
36-21
Penn State.
Alabama, Florida. I think Bama's 2 touchdowns. They'll probably come in 10.
I think it'll be a good game.
I think Bagels will probably favor them by 10.
Right.
But now Auburn and Penn State. Now here's the thing, and I'll get on a little soapbox and we'll move on to Ohio State and the Ducks.
Yeah.
My little soapbox is it's college football's back. We're all excited.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn's got a new coach, and I'm not picking on Auburn. I'm gonna pick on Georgia a little bit too. I'm not meaning to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got Georgia ranked number 2. I'll say we got to slow down. Okay, they ain't really played. We have to remember, guys. Last year, Clemson got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They got embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. By Ohio State. Yeah.
Bad, and then Ohio State just got the beating of their life. So Clemson's. They're not really great. They're not that elite team that they had when like Deshaun was there in those days.
They're not that good.
They can't run the ball.
Right.
Okay, Clemson has no running game, and Georgia shut it down. Well, they wasn't much to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like trying to pinch off an old rusty brake line. It's already rusted up. Well, you ain't got to mash it hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not hard to stop the team that already. That Dixon kid is not ETN.
No.
He's playing in pros. Well, I watched him play someday, and he's doing.
He's not as good as Gallman, or he's good, but he's not as good as Gallman or ATN.
Now Auburn, they win these last 2 games big. They're setting records down there, scoring all these points. But guys, you're playing tiny schools. It's exciting for your university. It's good for Alabama to beat Mercer, but hold up.
Right.
Slow down.
Yeah.
You're fixing to go play Penn State, a traditional, dominant powerhouse that had one of the best coaches that ever coached the game in the past. Mm-hmm. Known the Nittany Lions in Happy Valley. Mm-hmm. This is Penn State. They're a big-time football program. If Auburn comes out with a win, I don't know the score. It's hard for me to say because
I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game.
I don't think so either. But I don't want to react on emotions because I'd be excited for Auburn to win our conference winning game.
It would.
But I don't want to react on emotions because Auburn's been playing so good. But, I mean, when you're beating up a little kid on the playground, you look good.
The good thing about it is Auburn's going in this thing completely healthy.
Yep.
I mean, completely healthy. Of course, Penn State did not. Did Penn State play yesterday? They did play yesterday.
Yeah.
And they've already played Wisconsin, which I watched that game. And I guarantee you they were sore after that.
That was a game of the weekend there. If Auburn beats Penn State.
So, a plus for Auburn is they're healthy.
And Penn State played Ball State. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're not going to be knocked up any. No. Clifford was 21-29, throw for 230. So, they just went out there and done their thing. And they got a good coach. Mm-hmm. A settled coach, a settled staff going to be coming, and going to host a new staff. Players is learning the coaches. The coaches are learning the players. Tank's going to get his yards.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
What's going to happen, Bo's going to have to be careful because Penn State's going to put him in some bad positions to make bad passes.
Right,
and I want to see how this process has worked with the new coaching staff there in Bobo. I want to see how good he is to bring Bo up to say that Gus could never develop a quarterback, but I can. So I'm going to bring him into this environment. It's going to be wild up there. Probably going to have a white out. It's going to be
wild,
crazy.
Yeah.
So Bo can go up there and play good. And like I say, if they beat Penn State like 36-24, look out. Auburn's got a good football team.
Yeah.
But if they lose, I'm not going to go, oh, my God, I can't believe it. I just knew they'd win it.
No, I think Penn State's got a very good team this year.
They're going to be favored.
They beat Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin's not bad either.
I bet they'll be favored by 6.
Penn State?
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to be favored. And Alabama's going to be favored. And Georgia's going to be favored.
Now,
over South Carolina.
Georgia, South Carolina may be good for a while, but let me tell you something. Florida's not that bad.
No,
they're going to play Bama good for a while. If they come out there with their heads up the rear end like they did that first quarter against Mercer, Florida will jump on them and score, and they'll go ahead on them.
Matt, some other games this week. We can go back and talk about them. I'm just talking about some other interesting matchups. Michigan State, Miami. You like that matchup?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Nebraska, Oklahoma for the first
absolutely.
time in forever?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay. What about? I love this matchup. Cincinnati and Indiana.
I really like that one. Cincinnati's in my top 10.
Yeah, I agree. Georgia, South Carolina, we already talked about that. Virginia, North Carolina, that's a good one. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to this. Ole Miss and Tulane. And that's the only ones I've got, man. Ole Miss and Tulane. Tulane nearly beat Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Do you think that they could sneak up? I personally don't.
No, not with Lane. He's back on the sidelines. Okay. I think they'll be.
But could that be a good game? Is there potential for that to be a good game?
The way things have been going, man, JSU just freaking beat Florida State last night. I don't know, man. I mean, the way things are going, I guess anything could happen. I wouldn't think so. I mean, Ole Miss they've recruited a lot of players, and they're a quality football team. Got one of the best coaches in the country. Been coaching college football and pro football since he was 12.
Right.
And Lane Kiffin, I'm just kidding, he wouldn't play.
He probably was. Well, he's around it. That was his daddy coach.
Yeah. The guy that invented the Tampa 2 defense, Monty Kiffin.
Monty Kiffin, he did.
I
don't know what that is still, but it's obviously good.
It's a 2.
It's the cover 2, right?
Yeah, zone for. I think they both play zone in the middle, and your center plays zone.
Okay.
Safety. It's like 2 corners, and you got 3 deep safeties, I think.
Okay. I saw it. I mean,
I just know it from Madden or something. That's fine. Some reason a real coach could tell you.
I'm going to read up on that tonight, what the Tampa 2 is. I'm not real big on and I'm not knocking them, but we never had to play Tampa 2 at Gillsville, Crossville, and Chattooga.
Now, remember last week, Dean, this game here, I told you, Woo Pig Sue, and you said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I'm telling you guys.
I was wrong.
That's why you hit the subscribe.
He did call this.
I said, I didn't pick Arkansas to win, and they did.
You did it big.
I just said, let me tell you, these guys are good. I've been following them. We've talked about them. We followed the line, watched practice stuff. He's added a line. They're good up front, Dean. They whipped Texas's cowtail rears all day on the trenches. They controlled the line of scrimmage all night.
They rushed for 300 yards.
Sark had nothing.
No answers.
He had no answers. Arkansas, both sides of the ball, 23-7 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter there. Jefferson's 14 for 19. They had 471 total. They rushed for 333. Texas only has 256 total. Robinson caught 69 for a touchdown. Thompson caught 2 for 44 yards. They had a fumble. They had the ball for like 29 minutes. But look at this. I can't even list all the names. The players that caught for over 30 yards, Smith, Jefferson, Green, Sanders, Johnson, Hornsby, and all of them had a touchdown. They just
smoked them pretty much, didn't they? 333 yards rushing. Wow. Against Texas.
Welcome to the SEC Longhorns. That's okay. I got your hat. I'm here buying this one, Vince Young, before that game.
I don't know. That's a shocker. But we did call. I mean, I know this show ain't about me and you getting on here going, we told you.
No, not at all.
But we did say Arkansas would be better.
I just wanted to put up
did we not?
A red light flashing saying, watch this game.
Yes.
It's going to be better than you think it is.
Yes, and it was. Definitely. Well, no, it wasn't. But it was the other way.
They're good at. Man, they're going to be hard. I mean, they're going to
that
play.
SEC West is wide open.
I know.
Well,
hey, don't be surprised if Arkansas comes sneaking in there around second or third place in this West. I mean, who's going to beat them?
Well, them and Ole Miss. And that's going to be some good matchups.
Ole Miss can throw it around all over them. But, man, when you win up front and you're winning the battle and you're just whipping them dudes' tails up there, you guards and tackles.
Oh, they're good, man. I mean, they've really, 0-12 2 years ago. I thought they improved a lot last year.
Coaches, his staff.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. Hats off to them.
He's done a good job.
What about Iowa State?
I'm telling you, and I go on and told you this.
The Hawkeyes.
I was ranked very high on my list. I know me and Matt aren't in any danger of taking over the AP poll, are we?
No, I don't think so. That right there makes a
3 interceptions, Purdy. We talked Iowa State up, but
we was high on them.
Yeah, I think Iowa's just a good team. They've already drilled Indiana.
Same thing, man.
And now they've beat Iowa State
up front.
Yeah,
they just got guys in the trenches that are just whooping their rear end. He threw for.
He only had to throw for 106 yards.
Yeah.
11. And they won.
32 minutes time possession, 28 minutes. They had Iowa State had 21 first downs.
And they lost the ball game.
Yeah, 27.
And they only had 11.
Yeah.
Their defense is good. Hey, I'm telling you, Iowa is a top 10 team for sure.
They are.
Well, you ready to talk about the big one?
Let's see.
Or do we got another one?
I don't think I got nothing else.
I think that's all I got, too. And we got to talk about our top 10, but we got to talk about the big game first.
A few NFL at the end. We'll go over some of them, but
we got to talk about, what happened up in Columbus. Shocker.
Well, yeah.
Ohio State.
I was at a loss for word because I wanted to say that, we were kind of high on Oregon.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be good.
Cristobal does a good job out there, okay?
He does.
I just assumed that I thought Ohio State would Stroud would have been a little better in certain situations in the game. I think he made some bad choices at times. He wasn't bad overall all night.
No, he threw for 408, but he threw a lot. He threw for 484
484, and Brown threw for 236.
Well, guess where this game was won? On the ground. I mean, what did they rush for? Look, Verdell 161, Brown 65. They rushed for 270 yards.
270. Ohio State rushed for 128.
But they had more yards. They had 612 yards, 484. They just couldn't stop. They just couldn't stop Oregon. Every time I looked up, Oregon was running.
Ohio State 484 passing.
On what? How many plays did they run? 150. Total plays 85.
Rushing attempts 31.
So they take 54 times.
Interceptions thrown 1.
Well, if Ohio State's having to throw 54 times, there's some problems.
It just goes back to this. We caught it early in the years. We've seen football kicking off locally and college. People running the ball more. Ohio State threw it a lot, and what happened?
They got beat. And
look, because if you play defense and run the ball, you can control the clock, and I think that's probably has a lot to do with it.
Well, 269 rushing yards. Okay, that's them. That's an upset. Iowa just played good defense and won. What was the other one? Arkansas rushed for 300 yards, won. Kentucky outrushed Missouri, won. And I don't know about the other games, but that was the main games from yesterday.
Good luck for next week. Stony Brook's going to play Oregon.
Stony Brook. Where is Stony Brook?
I have no idea. It must be out somewhere. Tulsa and Ohio State's going to tie up next week.
They'll get back on that.
Ohio State don't even have a rank. They don't even play a top 100 team. They don't even play a top 50 team until October the 23rd in Indiana. Listen to this schedule. Tulsa, Akron, Rutgers, Maryland, Indiana the 28th. And then
could be a good one.
Penn State, they play Halloween. And then they'll play Nebraska, of course.
From what I've heard from the experts, Clemson and Ohio State, especially with these losses,
that conference
they're
is
pretty much out of it.
So bad.
Is that possible?
And here's why.
They're pretty much just done.
Those games that I just named, Rutgers, Akron, Maryland, they're not ranked in the top 50. So when you beat those teams, well, the judges are walking that game. They're taking their little notes and they're going, well, they won 47-20. Well, you're supposed to win 47-20. They're ranked number 64, and they got 112th ranked defense. Okay?
Exactly.
And with Oregon, that's a big win for them because let's go back over here and you can see now they got Stony Brook next week, which is I think that's part of the people.
But you got to play those games.
That's part of Johnny Lamar's old store. It got tore down. They call it Stony Brook. Used to be Johnny Lamar's Highway 9. Go there and see Miss Barbara. She'll cut you a piece of cheese off.
I used to hang out at Johnny Lamar.
I did too.
We were up there one night. Let me tell one Johnny Lamar story. And there was about 12 of us, and we were trying to get the keys. They were locked in a car, and the old coat hanger come out and all that. And somebody went over at the passenger side and just opened the door. I
wanted to go in there like they had the boards. You'd put the pin through and punch the number out the bottom.
Yeah.
Miss Barbara would say, "No, I'll let you punch one, Matthew. Just punch one." One time I won $1 piece. Remember the board?
Yeah.
Boy, I was so excited.
They got a good football team.
I was fired. Well, Stony Brook. They're Stony Brook now. All right, Oregon's going to play Arizona then, the 25th. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to lay out to show you how are they going to get in this playoffs. I know it's early.
Right.
But Oregon, I just told you how Ohio State's schedule is going to lay out.
Not looking too good.
They just don't play a schedule. All right, Oregon's got Arizona, Stanford, Cal, UCLA.
UCLA.
They're going to be good. They'll play UCLA October 23rd. Colorado's not ranked right now, but if Colorado keeps winning,
better. Texas A&M's worst one.
Then they're going to play Washington State, Utah.
Utah's not bad.
They lost to BYU. I'll go over that in just a second. So Oregon has a little better.
They got a better shot.
With winning it, they've got a step. Now, Ohio State would just have to beat everybody 60-0 from here on out.
Yeah.
They can't give up more than 6 in any of these games.
I think them and Clemson's done.
It is too early.
It is early.
And we don't want to get crazy.
And I'm talking about from what experts have said about their schedules. They guys, we cannot get these guys in there because their strength of schedule is so bad. With those players cannot help, and their coaches can't help.
No, you just play who you got to play.
Play who you got to play.
BYU beats Utah last night. I caught a little bit of that. It just got late because they're.
Oh yeah, it's 1:00 in the morning.
So speaking of them, BYU, we got some teams, Dean. I shared some news with you earlier today.
Okay, let me hold it.
This news.
Yeah, I didn't agree completely with
the news about the Big 12, the new additions.
Yeah.
We're gonna add Cincinnati. You're gonna add BYU. You're gonna add Central Florida and Houston.
Wow. To the Big 12.
Yep.
Okay, so that's Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Houston, BYU, and who was that?
Central Florida.
I like it. I think they make for a good conference.
Yeah, Houston's not terrible. Cincinnati's top 6 for me.
I like Cincinnati.
They're my 6 or 7 better.
Central Florida's got a good program.
BYU, I think I may have put them at 10 just because I liked how they played last night.
And they're not any worse than, seriously, any of those teams you got Iowa State. Who else? Iowa State, Baylor, Oklahoma State. No, they're not worse than those teams.
Ole Miss beat Austin.
Would you agree?
54-17. If anybody cares about that, no, I agree. It's a competitive market.
It's a competitive market.
Yes. They're trying to keep from just completely imploding.
And I think that'll do it.
Last night, the Hall kid, he's pretty good. He threw for about 150 yards, and a little Algira tailback, he's pretty good, man. Keep an eye on him. He rushed for over 100 last night. Now I know they played Utah, but Utah's
you like BYU, don't you?
They got put on the scene last year, and I just started keeping an eye on them. So just keep an eye on Utah. They may start climbing around up here.
BYU, keep an eye on BYU.
BYU,
right?
Yeah. They're going to start climbing in this top 20.
I would think so, very quick.
So just keep an eye on BYU. I'm not saying they're going.
He's not saying they're going to repeat.
They're not going to beat Bama. They're not going to play Bama for the national championship now. But just look for them to creep in the top. Auburn's probably going to come in the top 25 this week. I'd assume that.
Yes, definitely. Arkansas, definitely.
Yeah. Let's do.
Arkansas.
Give me your top.
Give me my top 10. Man, I've changed my mind so much. All right, I got Bama and Georgia 1 and 2, Oklahoma 3. Here's where my thinking gets fuzzy. And tell me what you think. Y'all may not like this. 4 Notre Dame.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just not a Notre Dame fan.
5 Oregon, 6 Iowa, 7 Penn State, 8 Cincinnati, 9 Ohio State, 10 Clemson. A&M out of the top 10.
I almost put A&M at 10, but I put BYU in at 10 just because I like how they played last night. Yeah, A&M, Jimbo better get a handle on this team because they're fixing to get into some real football.
And they lost some good players.
They better get it together. I'll go backwards from 10. BYU, Arkansas comes in at 9. I like Penn State in there. Iowa, Clemson, Cincinnati, Oklahoma 4, Georgia 3, the Ducks at 2, and until somebody's going to show me, Bama's just going to have to stay 1.
Yeah.
I liked how Oregon played. Ohio State's supposed to be a prominent football team. They only played 6 games last year and got to play for the title game, which was totally absolute.
Right. I got them 10 now, or 9, and I got them ranked. I think they're a little better than Clemson, but
and I'm telling you what they're going to do. They're going to keep Ohio State in the top 6 because they're trying, because they love them, man. The media loves it. ESPN, Disney, who owns them, they love them because of the AD and their politics, and they're all buddies with all that kind of stuff. That stuff we don't talk about on the show.
Right.
But it just is what it is. They're buddies with that stuff, and they're going to keep them in that 6. So if they beat one of these teams, this garbage schedule that they play. They don't play any ranked teams. No, I mean till the last end of the year.
Penn State,
yes,
and Michigan,
and we don't know. And Michigan ain't been nothing since Harbaugh's been there.
Now they're fixing to probably jump in the top 15.
Maybe Harbaugh better win. They don't have to let him go. But
they may already be in the top 15. They may hit that top 10. I doubt it.
Well, no, probably not.
Not yet.
But just watch though and see, guys. They're going to keep Ohio State about 6, so it gives them a chance to get in that playoff where they can hang around.
Well, see, what happens is they get in the championship game for their conference.
And all this stuff just...
And they get a ton of points. I mean, that gets a ton of... you go out here and you beat, Michigan or Indiana, Iowa. I think Iowa's tough this year.
This 12-team playoff, this has to do with what I've just talked about. They can't stand it that you're going to have 3 possible teams, Georgia, Bama, and we thought A&M maybe to be in the 4 or 5. They will go nuts. They're going to lose their mind. So they want to play 12 teams, guys, so they can put in these big teams out west. Oregon, UCLA.
I think Oregon, UCLA are good.
They'll have their shot. But I'm telling you, write this down on the wall right there. If Oregon and Alabama line up and play next week, Bama beats them by 30. It's just the talent. It ain't even close.
Right.
It's not. They just don't have half the players from out west comes out here. Now they have in the past 3 or 4 years. It's just not even close on the scales, and they're trying to make that 12-team playoff where you can sneak those teams in. You get Ohio State in. Hey, Coastal Carolina, they're a pretty good football team.
Coastal Carolina is a very good football team.
I think they ought to be like the gatekeeper.
Ranning bull.
They ought to be like Farm Truck on the Street Outlaws list. If y'all guys watch racing, Farm Truck is always the truck you had to race the 10.
Right.
I think Coastal Carolina ought to be the team. Like if you want to come out here and play in the playoffs, you got to beat Coastal Carolina.
You got to beat Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're good. I mean, 49 points, and I know Kansas is not a juggernaut.
No, they've been bad for years.
But
they play basketball.
49 points against Kansas, Coastal Carolina.
They got to play basketball. That's just what they do.
I mean, they're good at the basketball. I'll give them that. And they've had good football teams before, but it's tough. Not an easy place to recruit either.
Miami and App State, 25-23. That was they had to win to the end of the game.
Got a good program.
We talked about BYU Sunday night. Now the Bears and Rams are going to play. We'll talk a little NFL. Just mention the teams playing.
Falcons got beat.
Monday night, I watched some of that. They look terrible. The Eagles, Jalen played pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that and what we watched in a minute too. The Ravens and the Raiders play tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. Now we watched 31-19. The Buccaneers beat the Cowboys, and Dak threw for 403. Dean, he
did great.
Look how many passes he threw.
58.
58.
They didn't even run Elliott. I don't know if Elliott had 15 carries.
58. Had thrown 3 touchdowns. Tom Brady throws 50. He's 32 for 50. He threw for 379, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Tom Brady said he's not shooting to beat Joe Montana. He's shooting to beat Michael Jordan as the greatest player. So
he's there. Well, I mean, to me, he's the best.
He is, man.
He's the guy.
How can you?
I don't think there's no argument. Tom Brady, Babe Ruth, and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, his age. And I'm thinking about this day, and this will segue into the Falcons. We watched them play. They lose again. That's why I just got tired of pulling for them, Dean. Talking about hanging on too long. They tried to hang on too long, Matt Ryan. He should be a backup to somebody. They should have poured some money into somebody like Mac Jones. You had a quarterback on the board. You could have went and got him. Stupid. It's terrible. Administration's terrible.
Very good today. Let me check.
So let's talk about Mac Jones. Let's get a score on that. Mac was dropping dimes.
He looked very good when we were watching him.
I don't think he had any missed passes. One, the guy run the wrong route. Well, we found out a little later.
They got beat 17-16.
And he was hitting them in the chest with the ball. And they lose to Tua and Waddle 17-16.
All right. This is just local. Tua, 202 yards. Waddle, 61 and a touchdown for the Patriots. Jones. I don't know. They kept – this don't make no sense. It was 17-16 when we came in here. And it was still the third quarter. From that point on, Jones threw 3 passes. They must not have had the ball anymore. Damian Harris had 100 yards, former Alabama player.
Dante Hightower still at the Patriots, kicking around, making tackles.
Let's see, NFL scores. Pittsburgh actually beat Buffalo in Buffalo today.
Yeah, that's big. I like both those teams. I really like the Bills to go forward this year.
Oh, my gosh. We got the Chiefs come back and beat the Browns 33-29. Wow.
Browns are loaded. They got talent all over the place.
Let's see. Mayfield, 321 yards. Chubb, 83. Anthony Schwartz from Auburn, 3 catches, 69 yards. Chiefs, Mahomes, 337.
Wow.
Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 197 yards.
All right. The camera's going out. I think it did.
Oh, really? Are we done?
Well, I think the camera just went boo-boo. Oh. They're still hearing us talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me see if I can fix this, guys. We can still talk. There we are. We're back on. I got to get a new camera, so we're fixing to have to spend a little bit of money because that one's a $5 bargain bin.
Right.
But Tom Brady's he's the guy.
Yeah.
What I mentioned, Monday Night Football, Ravens and Raiders. Baseball wise, now Yankees beat the Mets 8-7 of the day. The Judge had 2 homers in the game. Braves beat the Marlins, lost the Marlins the other day 6-4. I think they got another game with them today or tomorrow, and then they play the Rockies next. Freeman is your guy, and D. Armad for the Braves, playing really good. Right now they're leading in the NL East. It's the Braves and the Phillies are about 3.5 games back. The Central NL is the Brewers leading, and the San Francisco Giants are like number 1 overall.
Oh, yeah.
The Giants are just smoking people. They're 92-50.
92-50. Wow.
So the Braves are ahead. They're 3.5 games ahead by Phillies.
I've not heard of any records much better than 92-50.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That means they're going to win 107 ball games.
And this Sunday, we've talked about these games here: Bills, Steelers, Falcons, Eagles, 49ers, and Lions. We have 49ers and Lions. Maybe they're playing right now.
No, 49ers beat the Lions.
Okay, they did.
41-33. I did say that. The biggest game I was going over was that Chiefs and Browns. That was a big one. So.
Browns will be tough.
Yeah, they were. The Chiefs did come back and win.
Guys, we've covered a lot of stuff.
Yes, we have.
I knew it was going to be a long night. Again, we'll have to congratulate Bucky again, Player of the Week. I'll try to get out there tomorrow, Bucky, and get your shirt and your card to you. You'll want to have a good week, and we appreciate everybody.
Yeah, we're proud of him. Proud of all the guys that win it.
Yeah, the whole county, man, all the staff and everybody that takes to put all that stuff together. I mean, from the water boys to the chain crews, we know how hard it is to put all that together. So next week, I'll be at Sand Rock, and he'll be up at Valley Head with Gelsville.
Valley Head, yes, sir.
So look for us out there. We're giving free autographs and
yeah, we're signing shirts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Arms,
babies,
the head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Soft spots. I think that's about it. We got it all covered. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Everybody in the county, y'all keep plugging away. Do it 3 weeks in a row. It could be done again this week.
Yeah, it could be. It can't be done every week, but it can be done.
Not every week. Well, I don't look. Cedar Bluff's got to go play Trine. That's just not. That's a no-brainer.
That's a tough.
I'm not going to count that. If everybody else wins,
tough order.
If everybody wins but them, and because they played out of state, we're still going to say they're batting 1,000.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's something they got to do, and a lot of times you just got things like that happen. You do. It just. I remember my senior year, we had to go play Redbud. We got hammered, and I heard later that Redbud wasn't that good, but Redbud was a lot bigger than us.
I remember them. Being on the schedule. Yeah.
Come on. I mean, we shouldn't have been playing Redbud.
Meek.
Yeah.
Those teams used to kick around. Well, guys, we'll let it all roll out of here. We appreciate everybody tuning in. And, as always, we appreciate everybody. And there's the end of the show, guys. We appreciate you and we love you. And peace out. Y'all have a great week. Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God.
Have a good week.